Miss Martin Muses and Pub Crawl. It is another night, or rather, another hour of drinking, and I think we've all had technically our seventh drink by now, so we should be rolling. But we have amazing constitutions here at Miss Martin Muses, and our guest this evening for Pub Crawl is none other than Stone Loki.
How are you doing? So nice to be here. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for the invite.
Oh, you're very welcome. So glad for. Thank you for accepting. Yeah. Just another day, another Taco Tuesday, and I'm a traditionalist, so I did have tacos for dinner. So
Nice.
yeah.
I think I had a French bread pizza thing.
Ooh. Oh, that sounds good. Oh, well
I should have
done.
had tacos though. If I could have had tacos, I'd have had tacos. Those good corn tortillas. Oh yeah. There we go.
Ooh. Oh yeah. And of course, you have a show called Taco Tuesday, or rather, you have Mornings of Mischief with Loki, and on Tuesdays you do call it Taco Tuesday.
Yes, usually with Mexican Iron Man. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mike's so great. Mike's
Yay.
absolutely great.
Yeah, he's been around, and you've been around for years. When did you first start your YouTube channel?
Oh wow! Nobody ever asked me that.
Oh,
Um, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and it was nothing like it is now.
mm,
So it was probably, I know we're on like year 15 or 16,
mm-hmm.
but it just
Right.
kind of, I uploaded Star Trek videos. I uploaded like Star Trek music videos that I made. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
really anything. I never really took off. I never tried. It wasn't something that I was like, oh, I'm going to set my mind to this and I'm going to do this or anything like that. I just did it for fun. It was just,
Mm-hmm.
I had absolutely no experience, no one showing me how to do anything. There was no, oh, well, you got to follow the algorithm and add this and add pi and, and, and divide by 3. No, I knew nothing about doing any of that. It wasn't until really about 4 years ago, and right around now, right around September, about 4 years ago, that someone told me. They said, you need to make content. You need to be doing uploads. And I did a couple of uploads, and I kept doing uploads. And it wasn't long after that I did the Joker review, and that got at least some attention.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was January of that next year that I did the first morning show. It wasn't even called Mornings of Mischief. It was Mornings with Loki on Pop Culture Therapy.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Yeah, right. And I looked at that, and it was a Friday. So I did the show on a Friday, and I took the weekend to think about, I've got to come up with a better name. I've got to come up with a better name and a better thing to do. And by Monday, it was Loki's Mornings of Mischief. And I started doing the morning show, and there you go.
Yeah. My first thought was you went home to rethink your life and your decisions.
That's about right.
And speaking of which, it's not rethinking life, but we have Vermont Cheddar here. Thank you. He says, "OMG, is it GL or am I connected to the Rose?"
I like
Um.
Vermont cheddar, I tell you that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. We endorse cheddar here at Miss Martin.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Though I hate to admit it, but I love the French stuff. I mean, I know French are snobby, but there's a reason why they're known for that stuff. They know how to make their cheese and their wine.
The Irish do too. There is some really good Irish cheddar
Hmm.
that you can pick up. That's like, when did this happen, and why have I not known about it my entire life?
It's the English's fault. It's the
Yes,
British. It's the damn British.
and it's crumbly. See, I don't
Mhm.
like soft cheese. I'm not a soft cheese guy. So if it's like soft and mushy, I'm like, no. But crumbly, good cheddar where you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
yes, that's some good stuff. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I'm a bit of a connoisseur of the Irish cheese. Of course, here in America, you can get things like some of the Dublin stuff and all that. But if you go to Ireland, they have in Thurles and in those areas, they've got some really good ones. And you can take cheese tastings and all that. It's great.
Oh heck yeah.
Um, Yes, unfortunately, you can't import them, so because they suck. But but we digress. But that is all about YouTube life because part of the thing about being on YouTube is that we sit on our buttocks, so we need to also go around and not only just reschedule our life, but rethink our lives and our routines. I got started, really started with this during the pandemic because there was nothing else to do. Uh, and so my YouTube life began with my quarantined life when we all were sitting at home. And then the rest spiraled for there. And here I am. Well, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm nearly to 1,000, but I can get super chats and all that because they changed some of the
They
monetary
did.
rules, which
They did.
I think that was a good idea. They need to start incentivizing. Hello, Soul Assassin. Thank you. And he here has your name in the chat.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Soul Assassin, bro. Thank you. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, please do subscribe. It's the best morning show there is.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it'll perk you up. I often have missed it because of my lifestyle right now. I'm up so late. I usually get up around 10 in the morning, but if I do it, I do try. And when I would go to work, I would be able to listen to it as
Well,
well.
isn't that like a YouTube thing though? Isn't that like a YouTube thing where it's like, yeah, I don't get up till, I don't know why I get up so early. I'm like the anti YouTube guy because I get up early. Most YouTubers do not get up early. They're like, screw
No,
that. I'm up late playing video games and doing whatever. Usually it's not you don't have a morning thing. Not that early anyway.
no. But then again, maybe that's also been what's been very good for your channel and your show because it fills a niche. We need a morning show.
I got told that this was never going to work. I was told, what are you going to do? Do the traffic report, Loki? And I was like, wow, that's not a bad idea. Actually, I could have someone called Chopper Dan, and bring him in and be like, Loki, we got SJWs all over the I-5. They're just spread out everywhere, knocking into other cars, driving like maniacs. And it worked. It really did. It worked. And it was like a little gimmick we did. And every once in a while, Chopper Dan comes back
Oh my gosh.
for the visit.
Well, and especially this last week, it could be very appropriate, or this weekend every week. But before we do, from Vermont Cheddar, $20. Thank you very much for that super chat. And it's no message with it, but I'm assuming it's full of cheese because we love cheese here. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that.
It's right color too for
Mhm.
cheese. It's that beautiful orange. So
Oh,
very generous.
yeah. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Um, so yeah, and I think maybe that goes a little bit into this whole YouTube life. I always like to say the who or the what. So what is YouTube life?
Okay. So majority of the what I would say the majority of YouTube life centers around three things. And this is why Mexican Iron Man will say he's not a YouTuber.
Ah,
Money, clout, and clicks. And
mm,
it doesn't have to be in that order. Um, and I'm like, I don't follow that either. It's one of those things that people aren't supposed to really talk about.
mhm.
It's like almost like a taboo subject
Yeah.
on YouTube. Is you don't talk about the money, you don't talk about the clout, and you don't talk about the clicks. Unless you're telling people, hey, make sure every 5 minutes, make sure you like this stream and that you're subscribed and share it out on the socials and all that.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Kind of like
but
when I was raised, I was told never talk about money, politics, or religion. And I
yeah,
think I do all of those. I think except money. But yeah, no, you're right. Well, and when you say that, the three things, like why would you say that it's not something we talk about?
it's not something most people will talk about
Hmm.
unless you're not subscribed to that way of doing it. And that's the main thing. Some people do this because they love it.
Hmm.
Now, granted, they are rarer than the average, but when you have someone that's looking at this and they're like, well, I wanna be the one everybody's listening to. Well, that's clout.
Uh-huh.
I want to make a gazillion dollars on the YouTubes. Well, there's your money.
Mhm.
I want to have that channel that's got that million clicks. Well, there's your clicks. There's always something driving people on YouTube. And
Yeah.
it's odd when you have something going on that's not the normal. That's not the standard. And what's funny is when the people that are interested in money, clout, clicks, point at this person and said, well, if they only do this, they'd be where I'm at now.
Mm.
Maybe that's not the goal. Maybe
Yeah.
the goal isn't to well, I want to make money and I want to do this full time and I don't want to have to go back to work again ever again. Um, I I already do that. I do this full time. I
Yeah.
I don't um, I don't have to worry about that. I'm not worried about the clicks. Whoever shows up in the morning is going to show up in the morning.
Mhm.
That's not something that I'm like, oh my God, I have to have this many people or I have failed in some way, shape, or form. If more people felt like that, you probably would have a different type of growth. But
Mm.
whatever floats your boat. If that's what you're concerned about, be concerned about that. But nobody says that. Nobody's going to say that. Well, I'm only interested in this or that. And you got clout, people that have never been the one that people have listened to. Maybe they weren't that popular in high school, maybe they weren't that popular at their job or whatever, and they get a little taste of that and they're like, well, I want more. I want everybody to listen to me and I want to be the one that's always right. Me
Mhm.
and Mike were talking about that this morning. uh, Two things you'll never hear, almost never anyway, from a YouTuber is I was wrong
Mm.
or I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Or none of the BS that everybody's absorbed with matters.
Oh. Yeah. And I've always found there is nothing wrong with saying you're sorry when you're wrong. Now you shouldn't say you're sorry if you're not wrong, but but and there's no problem with being incorrect about your information because first of all, everyone already knows you were incorrect, so you may as well admit it. I think maybe sometimes people confuse the never apologize with perhaps some of the real SJWs, the people, the witch hunters, those people. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you shouldn't apologize because often, but those are only like really big people. Like if you are, I don't know what, James Woods, okay, maybe that, but none of us are that big. So yeah, no
Now,
problem.
and being first is another thing. Mike will attest to that. There's a lot of people out there that want to be first. They want you to hear it from them first, whether they are accurate or not. Uh, they'll just move on to whatever else and want to be first again.
Yeah. Well, and I think that maybe comes to the algorithm as well. I remember being told once upon a time that I needed to start doing material that was trending, except for the fact that I didn't want to do that. I like doing what I do.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's meant a slower growth, but that's all there is to it. But I think that sometimes people can also get bitter if they don't get that fast growth
Oh
and
yeah.
maybe some jealousy.
Sometimes, sometimes people aren't prepared. I know someone who has a very large channel, and it happened very quickly. And
Mhm.
they in no way, shape, or form were they prepared for it.
Ah,
And that changed them. But then after a couple of years, and they got some seasoning under their belt, they realized that these things that I thought were the most important things, maybe they aren't that important.
no.
They aren't as important as I thought they were. And some apologies went out to some people. And some people, they're obviously going to be like, well, you know what? Sit and spin. And some other people are going to be like, well, it's good at least, you managed to see something wrong in how you were doing something and said something. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, and for me, I'll always say, even with someone who I've had a big conflict with, the door is always open. I'll always say we can always get into a hangout and let's talk about this. And that you do need to have mercy and grace for people because we've all made mistakes, with a few exceptions. Obviously, when there's something really intense and serious, of course, you we really can't. But I know what you mean. Well, I just want to say hi to. I've been highlighting some of the people in the chat, but of course, Soul Assassin is here. Stephen Ransom is here. Everyone's saying hi. We've got ourselves a pun from Steve Ransom. The Lord's message is always trending. It's omnitrendant. Ha ha. And Steve Kenobi is here. Hello, Teresa and Cumpy. Hope you are all well.
Hell Stig.
Yeah. Tommy is here. Hello. We people praising your
Tommy's
wisdom.
so great. Tommy's everywhere. Hail Tommy.
He knows how to bilocate or trilocate. Steve Kenobi says YouTubers almost never apologize. It hurts their ego and their brand.
And I Stig's absolutely right on the money. And if they worried a little bit less about the brand, it would be an easier place to be at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really believe that, because it's almost like some people look at this like almost like wrestling.
Yeah.
Those wrestling fans out there, like we're all baby faces, or we're all heels, and that's how we need to act. And don't let anybody see behind the curtain, because we can't let anybody see how we really are. And I'm absolutely against that. Just be you. Why do you have to? I get it if it's a skit. I get it if it's like an act or something. If it's part of a thing you're doing. Me and Mike do stuff like that all the time. But if under normal circumstances, I don't see why people can't just be themselves.
Yeah. And I would add to what Steve had said and what you said, it's their perception of their brand. Yeah.
And they can't be wrong. They can't apologize. How dare he? I forget who said that. I think it was
well, lots of
Indiana
people.
Jones. How dare he?
Oh yes. How dare he? Yeah.
Indiana Jones.
Well, and to go back to the age-old wisdom thing, to put some people on their psychological couch, I think it also depends what you said about some perceptions about what's happened in their real life also can affect your YouTube life. Like if you are successful in your real life, if you will, and I was very lucky, and I say this lucky because this happened when I was very, very young. I had success beyond all my imaginings by the time I was 24. I got everywhere I ever wanted to be in my entire life.
That's amazing.
It was amazing in my writing career and all that kind of stuff, and in my music career. I couldn't get any higher, literally, than where I was. And it was a great blessing because I was able to find out at the age of 24 that even that meant nothing. It wasn't a big deal. That kind of fame, success, and money, it didn't mean a damn thing. I mean, okay, it meant some things. Don't get me wrong. So I was, I was able to get that perception. You know what I mean? And then I worked with a very big fan site called Once Upon a Fan, which was not connected to, but was a fan site of the show Once Upon a Time. And so this was like in my post real life success, and I became a teacher. It's like and that was astronomically successful. I mean, I'm hanging out with the stars. I'm doing interviews with Mark Isham for frack's sake, if you know in the music world who he is. And so I even had quote unquote YouTube success, even though my name wasn't the story behind it was a team. So I've also had that in my life with a whole different website. So again, and I was able to see at the end of the day, as much fun as it was, it meant nothing in the bigger scheme of things.
Well, that kind of thinking around here is dangerous kind of thinking. But I love it. I absolutely love it, because that's the way I look at this. I'm like, I'm able to go on in the morning, or whether it's in the morning or it's at night. I have a great time. I have
Mhm.
fun. I enjoy myself. If some people throw in some super chats, that is absolutely great.
Mhm.
You guys, when I say they keep the lights burning bright, that's paid for StreamYards for the year. It's paid for a video editor so I can edit
Mhm.
videos. It's paid, it's paid it has paid to keep the lights on the channel.
Yeah.
And that matters. I'm not worried about anything else. As long as the channel is self-sufficient, uh I'm great. I could care less about a whole bunch of money. I don't need it.
Yeah.
That's a very strange thing for me to say because that's not the way it was in the beginning.
Yeah.
I was eating hot ramen. I
Uh-huh.
was eating ramen when this started, and I was like, "Brand, I got monetized." I'm like, "Please, monetization." And I was eating ramen and soup, and
Uh-huh.
that was pretty much, that was the life. And things have changed. A lot of hard work,
Mhm.
and a lot of changes,
Yeah.
and your life has picked up in a very positive way. And uh, I always say I'm not out to get 100,000 clicks, or not out to get 5,000 people in my audience. I just want to go on in the morning and have a good time, and have a good time with the people that are there watching, and hopefully they've had a good time and they've had a good morning because of the show. As long
Mhm.
as that's the way it is, I am golden. I'm great. I'm having a good time.
Yeah. No, you're right. I used to say if there's like one person out there who had a better day or learned something new because of me, then I've done my job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna rip off something from Steaks. I don't know if he's in the chat, but you know what? I'll steal stuff from him any day. He always says that YouTube, that things content we do should either entertain or inform, and uh, I'm more of an informational kind of channel, and I think you're information and entertainment as well. I mean, because you're
We
very entertaining.
try.
It's
We try.
funny. Well, you have the whole skull thing, and I feel very self conscious because a lot of Scandinavians follow me with my pronunciation. So, but I always love it, and then everyone like does their big. Whenever you get a super chat, you have that, and I think that's great. That's always fun.
Well, thank you. I had to come up with something as a way to say thank you. And
Yeah.
everybody reads off. Reading off's great. It's great.
Hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that. I just wanted to give a little, and it was originally just going to be one. It's just that dollar bill. That was the first one I ever made, and that's all I was going to do, was do
Hmm.
that one. And someone was like, "Can we have more?" And I'm like, "I guess." What really do you? And I started thinking up ideas. What other ones can we have?
Yeah.
And it's just got to be a fun little addition to say another way to say thank you.
Yeah. Maybe I'll come up with a roasting or something. Oh, I told you the judgment was coming. You said it wrong. I know I did, Steeg, and Loki does too. I know because we're dumb Americans, bastards.
Bastards.
When you speak English wrong, you sound like a Brit.
Me or him?
Oh, Steeg.
Oh yeah, I was about to say. I've,
No,
I've
you do
had
not
people
sound
say,
British.
"Well, you sound like a good old Southern boy," and I'm like, "Well, that's about right. Grew up in Texas." But the whole, yeah, I was like, British. No one's ever told me that.
Yeah,
Hello,
that would be
hello,
a start.
hello,
Yeah.
hello, Miss Martin. I'd like
Well,
to get to know ya.
you've given us a hint of YouTube life when you talked about the ramens and you talked about the sleeping in. um, what other aspects of YouTube life are there?
Oh man, the stuff that goes on behind the scenes it's like that scene in Ghostbusters where
Uh-huh.
oh, what's his name? He's like, I've seen shit that'll turn you white. Well, I have seen some stuff that would bleach your skin and turn you white. Um,
Mm,
it's crazy. It's
yeah.
absolutely crazy. I've seen people go after each other. I've seen people accuse each other of all kinds of crazy things. I've seen best friends that have been best friends their whole lives at each other's throat, ready to rip them out because of something about this platform. There is something about this platform that once you crawl in the back and you see what goes on behind the scenes, it's unreal. It's unreal how crazy it can be. It
You know,
really is.
I've heard more than one person say that it's an addiction because what you kind of described to me, that's the way like junkies will act when they're trying to get their next fix.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And no offense to anybody out there that lives on here, but you've gotta there's gotta be times where you're not behind a computer and you're
Mhm.
not in front of a screen. I've met plenty of people since I started this that live behind a computer screen for one reason or another. And very rarely do those people get out and not immediately want to just be right back there in the middle of it all.
Mhm.
And you've got to wonder why. Is it clout? Is it money? Is it the clicks? It's proven fact. This is a scientific fact. When you get 100,000 something views, when it's out of the ordinary, when something pops on your channel, the same part of your brain that goes active when you win a jackpot or when you do certain, like you said, drug addicts,
Mhm.
the same part of that brain lights up.
Wow.
It's that same part lights up and it's like on fire and you want more, you want more, you want more. And people with addictive personalities, it's you hear about people that are like, how could you go from like a healthy person to absolute, you're gonna need a transplant or you're gonna need this, you're gonna need that within 5 years of being a YouTuber because they don't get up out of that chair.
Oh, yeah.
They don't get up out of that chair. They don't exercise. They just sit there in front of that desk, in front of that screen. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, and
Yeah, gambling
obviously,
addiction.
yeah,
Dopamine hits, yeah, and yeah, some of the things, yeah, I've seen it too, Steve. I mean, I'm talking criminal stuff, yeah, blackmail, unsolicited nudes, recorded phone calls, Mary liming. A lot of false accusations will go around, and then that scares people, and then they disappear because no one wants to have a false accusation against them. Um,
been there, done that. Heck,
mhm,
that the first year I really did this, the first year I did Mornings of Mischief. I came from a really I thought it was a very good community. We were brothers and sisters in arms and all these wonderful things because we all liked this content creator. And when I went out to do my own thing, which I was encouraged to do by this very content creator, was go forth, Loki, and make content. Um, I
yeah.
got a lot of crap for that. I got told I was taking this person's audience, I was taking advantage of them. I was a horrible person for doing my own thing, and I stopped talking to a lot of people at that point. And a lot of people listened, and a lot of people enjoyed what I was doing and hung out. But there was obviously a faction that and doxing.
Hmm.
Yes, yes, sir, doxing too. There was definitely a faction that was like, you took advantage of this person. They encouraged me to do this.
Hmm.
I didn't say, hey, I'm going to do this. Will you promote me? I didn't do anything like that. I was told multiple times before I ever did anything, you've got a voice for radio. You can do the content. I know you can. You should be doing this. And I finally one day I listened instead of just sitting there and not doing anything. I listened and I said, you know what? I'm gonna do some stuff. And I did some uploads and I had fun.
Hmm.
But getting accused of all that just because I broke from the norm, I guess, and they didn't like that. Maybe they thought, oh well, teacher's pet, or he's getting too much attention. It's weird. It's really weird. Everything was fine before I went off to do my own thing.
Well, never underestimate the green-eyed monster. I'm a classical musician, so you trust me, it's there. I mean, the movie Amadeus was completely fictional, but that's the way all classical musicians really are. I mean, they would kill you as soon as play with you. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
that. Luckily for me, I was always an ensemble player, an ensemble singer more than a soloist. So I was never any danger for anybody. So yeah,
And you
no.
don't see, that's that thing nobody sees.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, I mean, like you just said, most people they go to a concert or something, they don't see that. You know,
No.
you get on a YouTube channel, you don't see that. At least you don't most of the time.
Hmm.
You don't see internal conflict. Why? Because they're told, don't bring it here.
Yep.
We're here to do this, this, and this.
Yeah. And to a certain degree, I would say also depending on the level of classical musicianship, and this also is with actors that I know, like they won't put up with it. Like they might put up with it for a while. You might be the flavor of the month. Like that's when you see actors suddenly pop up out of nowhere, and then if they show themselves to be a problem, they will not get hired again. And my prediction is that the Snow White with Rachel Zegler, that's exactly what's going to happen to that little girl. Because not only was she arrogant and she messed it up, she even talked against her co-star when she said he could be edited out and it wouldn't make a difference. I'm like, girl, you're done. You're done.
Who's going to want to work with her again?
No, oh, fine. So that's how you look at your co-stars. Screw you. Yeah, yeah, a lot of arrogance kicks in with monetize. Well, see, and that's where I think you get first the perception of fame and the perception of money. You know, because money makes people do crazy things as well. Like when you see people winning the lottery, I don't know if you've ever known someone or someone that's come into a lot of money. Maybe they've inherited some.
Oh,
They go
yeah.
nuts.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, but I like what you said about within 5 years suddenly they've got all these health problems and everything. Now, of course, I am not a full-time YouTuber, but because of my situation, I'm no longer in a contract teaching job. Where basically you're just living on your feet. And this started during the pandemic when I realized, okay, I've got to get a regimen going. I bought a bicycle, and so when it's cool enough, it's not yet cool enough, I go out and ride my bike, but I started doing Pilates. My sister encouraged me to do that, and so I actually have a Pilates schedule, and since I've already paid for it, I have to go. You know what I mean? That you have to, especially if you are a full-time YouTuber, you got to get your arse away from that computer. You got to get on your feet. You've got to exercise. You've got to have fresh air, because not only will your spirit get sick, as you said, your body will get sick.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've got to unplug. You've
Mhm.
got to unplug. You got to walk away, go outside, get some air, listen to the leaves, go for a drive, do something, and get out from behind the screen and get out from behind the camera. It's
Mhm.
not oh well, you just want me to go away so you can take my spot. It has nothing to do with that. You got to stop thinking like that. That's where the crazy that's where the crazy comes in. Oh, they just want me to go away and not be behind the camera and the screen because they want my spot. They
Mhm.
want to do this. No, everybody needs time away from here every once in a while. Everybody needs time to, I do this full time. I do it every single morning, Monday through Friday. I do shows at night. Um, I I am a full time YouTuber. I don't spend most of my day behind this screen. I
Mhm.
spend maybe 2.5 to 3 hours normally on a weekday. On the weekend, usually nothing. I'm
Mhm.
I don't do this at all on the weekend. That's going to change here in a little bit, but it's only going to be for probably 30 minutes on a Saturday. Um, because I want to, not
Mhm.
because I have to, but because I'm working on something with somebody and I really want to do this project. I'm
Oh.
very much looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So
Oh.
I'm very picky about what I do too. Uh,
Mhm.
you know, some people it's just, well, invite me on here and I want to be over here. Can I come on your live stream here? And if that's what they want to do, by all means. But guys, unplug a little bit and
Mhm.
get out from behind the screen. Life this shouldn't be life.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I gotta make 20 videos, Loki, in a week. Why?
yeah. Yeah. Well, and I do understand. I mean, there are some people that have caught the algorithm and they're making money that I can't even imagine. That yeah, they do need to get a video done every day. But it sounds like what you're saying, and this is I'll go out on a limb and say this is what they do. They treat it like their job. It sounds like, you have your hours, you do your hours, and just like a job, when you're done, you're done. That, with good organization, you can do what you need to do for your YouTube without having it take over all your extra hours and time and real life and relationships, friendships, etc.
So this will blow your mind.
Okay.
So there's about 50 million people on YouTube that do uploads, they do videos, they do live streams, whatever. 2%, 2% of them are monetized. Just 2%.
Dang.
1% out of that 2% has over 10,000 subscribers. 1% of that 1% make over $10,000 a month on YouTube. So you start lowering that percentage over and over. Those are some drastic fall offs as far as money goes. It is nigh impossible for people to make that kind of living on this platform. Of course, we know people that do live streams that make, man, they make bank.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's seen it, whether it's, the Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, whether it's Az, whether it's Nerdrotic, Gary.
Mm-hmm.
We all know some people, but how many out of all those people make that kind of money a week? Not that many. Not as many as you think.
Yeah. Though I will say that I do know some people like housewife types. So they don't make that kind of money, but they do make some money enough to supplement their income. So, while their spouses work.
Yes.
Yeah. So but you're right. As far as the kind of money that we're seeing, it is like going to the casino. How many people actually win that $1 million jackpot? Not a lot.
That's right.
And then it's taxed too. So.
And a lot of that run is what burns people out. Why haven't I got this? Why haven't I got that? I've been around just as long as this person, but I'm not making this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. It's what you don't have, and I've seen it transferred there into other areas. I've talked a lot about 12 steps here for reasons I know about them, and that there's a reason why they have been able to find over the years, because of course it started as Alcoholics Anonymous. That's the main one, and then they found out, wait, this works with gambling. Wait, this works with drugs. This works with cigarettes. This works with. They even have a gaming one now, an official one, and it was eating, Overeaters Anonymous, and because it's as we said, the addictive personality, and oh, hello.
Hey Jacob, how you doing, brother?
Yeah. No offense taken. No offense taken. We're happy hanging out in chats. Well, see, and that's the thing. Do what you like. And
That's
this
right.
is, if you like just hanging out, hang out. I mean, I got sick. That it was something that actually does happen to musicians a few years ago, back in 2018, where you're so exhausted because, I was teaching and then I was taking some courses. I was doing a lot of conducting. And then it's like, oh, we've got this concert tonight. Everyone has to stand up. Oh, let's make sure we got everyone. And next thing you know, boom, fell or fainted. And it's like, and then it was just plain exhaustion, and I had a vertigo. They turned out I had vertigo, and they were like, girl, you got to rest, you got to do this, you got to take these vitamins. And I was listening at that time to it was Geeks and Gamers. So while I'm sitting there going bleh, so yeah, that helped me a lot, and that's where, being a lurker or a listener and all that. And that's why I said that if even one person gets it, that's just amazing. Hi, Jacob. And Yeah, you can tell genuine people, the ones that just seeking shallow fame. Oh my god, I had that 2 weeks ago and I couldn't walk for a week. Yeah. Um, yeah, want to connect with. Yeah, so we can help each other get through some of these, even if it's just content. And a lot of the content I do is just from lesson plans I done. And I think I said hi to Biggles. Want to make sure I said hi to everyone.
What's
And I
up,
think,
Bagels? It's been a
yeah,
while, brother. Good
yeah,
to see you.
we love Biggles here at Miss Martin Muses. Yeah, yeah. Oh well, yeah. It's best that you don't see what goes on behind the scenes. The less
Yeah,
you know, the better. It's just like your favorite actor. Well, you know how they say never meet your heroes. It's the same thing. Um,
that's not.
and
I wouldn't say that's always true,
mhm,
but I will agree for the most part. There's a couple people that I've met in the last 5 years that are pretty dang genuine.
mhm,
Um, and you can tell when you talk to them, when you hang out with them. Mike's one of those people. He's all over the place. He always is. 24 hours a day, Mexican Iron Man is all over the place,
mhm,
whether he's working or whether he's not. And you will meet some genuine people. Some people not so much. Some people they're out for themselves. They're looking out for themselves, and that's the way it is. And they don't want people to see that. They sure as heck don't want people to see that on the programming.
mhm.
But it won't take you long to figure out who the real deal is and who's not.
Yeah.
That
And
look behind the curtain is not something, and people get upset when you pull that curtain back, even when you don't name people, which I've done.
mhm,
I've named any names. I just pulled the curtain back enough to go, this is the crap that goes on behind the scenes. They get pissed, and some people don't ever want to. How dare you? How dare you bring that up? I didn't name you. Doesn't matter.
mhm.
Okay.
What I found, because sometimes I'll do self-help things, people think I'm talking about them, so I finally had to say, "Listen, whenever I do those self-help or, like, what to do when you're angry, what to do when you're feeling about getting revenge," I'm like, "These are my problems." And so I'm going through, like, how do I not have a big ego? If I feel like I'm getting too proud of myself, I do that, but then everyone thinks I'm talking about them, and it's like, "I'm not even thinking about you."
Yeah.
And sometimes I guess you are. In either case. Yeah, I'm a goofball almost 24/7 except in work to me. Yeah, see, that's one thing I like is that for the most part, I don't have to be a grown up. Yeah, like when I go to work, I I do consulting work right now. Yes, I have to put on the clothes, I have to put on the makeup, do the hair, and I'm like, "Ugh, I've got to be a grown up." And then I get to come home and yay, I can be a kid again. Yeah, Clout City. I think we're getting into the well, we know of the win of the and the why of YouTube life because someone maybe come in and maybe like, "Gee whiz, is it really worth it?" So you've touched on the why you do YouTube life. So I guess I would say one of the things that I've found is like a lot of the people in the chat right here that I've found, and my time with Once Upon a Fan, I found my best friend. She's my best friend now. We met in real life, and we sit and braid each other's hair and paint each other's toenails. You know what I mean, like girls do. So I guess what I'm saying is, so the why for you, what really is the why? If I were to really get through all of the spirals and get into Loki, if you want to answer that, like
Well,
that sounded
it's
wrong.
just like you,
Hmm.
Miss Martin. And it's like you coffee and talk. We're gonna have coffee and we're gonna talk.
Hmm.
I love getting to talk to everybody in the morning, whether it's 5 people, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Getting to talk to everybody and interact with everybody um, is a treat. It's a
Hmm.
privilege. You want to talk about people talk about privilege all the time. Oh, this person is so privileged. Um, I am privileged that I have this wonderful group of people that comes in the morning and likes to wake up and listen to me scream out people's names first thing in the morning, welcoming them to in and say good morning to everybody, and then talk about something for an hour. I had this. There was this wonderful person that I know that's still in my life, and she's absolutely wonderful. She's the artist that did the dragons and most of the artwork for the channel. And she told me a long time ago when I was doing those Star Trek videos, why don't you talk in them? And I said, nobody wants to listen to me. And she said, that's insane. You've got charisma, you've got fire, you've got passion for Star Trek. Why would you not want to talk? And I said, I'll just put up the subtitles and it'll be fine. When they found out I was doing this is when they were like, I'm going to make you artwork. What changed? I said, what do you mean what changed? And she said, you never would be on a microphone before. You'd never talk. In any of the Star Trek videos you did, you never talked. You just put up, subtitles and ship stats and da-da-da-da-da. And I said, I got angry. These people were coming after these people that I cared about, calling them all kinds of nasty names, and they were sexist and phobes and Yahtzees and all this nasty stuff. And I got angry and I made a video. And I did another video, and then I did another video, and then I started doing review videos, and I was encouraged to continue to do this. And then I did a live stream, and I just really liked it. I never imagined people would want to listen to me for an hour talk about anything before. I really didn't.
And then what a surprise, they did.
And what a surprise they do.
So. Yeah. Well, yeah, and I've also found that I like to yap, and sometimes people, don't want to just sit and hear you yap. Like, when you're in a conversation with people, I gotta let this person have their turn. This person talk, but especially if it's a solo stream, I can just sit there, inhale, and talk for 2 hours.
The gift of gab.
Gab, yeah, exactly, and I don't have to worry about stepping on anyone's toes because it's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a stress reliever too, because sometimes if you got something on your mind and you talk it out on a stream, I think that helps too.
Oh yeah. You're in your pulpit and you're getting it out, and that's a beautiful thing. I love what I get to do. I have fun. I enjoy it. Obviously, other people enjoy it. So yeah, I've just kept doing it, and I'll keep doing it. Whether we've got 50 people in the chat, 20 people in the chat, 10 people in the chat. It doesn't, none of that matters. And call me weird. I'm apparently weird. I'm the oddball. I'm the odd kid on the playground that doesn't think any of that matters. But it's just how I feel about it. I'm not worried about, I need to do so many uploads in a day so I can get extra subscribers, or people find me, they find me. They listen. If they don't, hopefully they come back and listen some other time. If they don't like me at all, well, I'm sorry you don't like me at all. But enjoy your time over there, and I'll enjoy my time over here, and there you go.
Yeah. Keeps people staying in their own lanes. I always think that's weird. That's interesting too. It's like there's nothing wrong. I am pointing some fingers of judgment out there that about people. Like, there is nothing wrong with being picky. There's nothing wrong with saying, this is a lane I want to stay in. You can go in that lane and that's fine, but I'm in this lane. The idea that you have to
do what they're doing.
Yeah, or even be with them. You know what I mean? Like, if someone wants to invite you on a stream and it's not my thing, because there's lots of things that aren't my style, and it's like, don't take offense if I'm just not comfortable on this kind of a stream. And it has nothing to do with you. Most of the time it has something to do with me, and that there's nothing wrong with that I want to have this kind of a world and you can have that kind of world, and I'm not judging you. I'm just saying it's not me.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Some people don't gel well together. There's nothing wrong with that. Nobody should be angry about that. And there's that goes back to the clout thing.
Yeah. That not everything's a judgment on somebody. It's just different. We're all different. Jory says, true. Not weird. Just speaking of which, not weird, just a little different, Loki.
It's very
Yeah,
true.
Vermont Cheddar likes being Catholic explained. Yeah, that's one of my shows where I just got sick of some things I saw on Twitter. It's like, I'm going to start Catholic explaining to people. And so I do that. That's my Sunday show. And yeah, it's a one-way street. It's like mansplaining. So yeah, so a lot of people like it. So it's just like the church chat, but it's like we're gonna talk about John 6, verse 11. How's that, kids?
Nothing, and there's nothing wrong with that either. I know
Yeah,
some people that are like, how dare they? How dare they talk about church things or religion? It's the taboo. Oh no, it's taboo subject to talk about church or religion or blah blah
yeah.
blah. It's yeah, whatever.
It's
Do
like,
what you enjoy. Talk about what you enjoy. Don't worry about, all the other stuff. And that seems to be almost a bad thing too. Well, why aren't you doing everything everybody else is? Because
mhm,
I'm not like, I don't want to be a sheep. Yeah, but you're
yeah,
not being a sheep. You're keeping up with the current blah blah blah. Why aren't you doing uploads, Loki? Because I don't. It's not my thing. I I,
yeah,
I just don't. I do live streams. I'm a live streamer. That's what I
yeah.
do.
Yeah, I try to do one a week, video a week, because I do like doing the little ones. But yeah, but for the most part, live streams, and that's your claim to fame. And speaking of the perception that a person's not doing what other people are doing, I have young people in my life. They're now in college, and I'm just like, what they are watching on YouTube, and I'm talking millions of channels. It's not even anything even close to the kind of stuff we watch. They sit and watch the dumbest crap that's not as furthest from my mind.
Oh
And
yeah.
so it's like, okay, yeah, we're in a little teeny tiny little corner.
Oh yeah. We are in and most people don't realize that we are in
Yeah.
a teeny tiny corner. Even if you have 100,000 subscribers, that is a tiny tiny corner of YouTube.
Yeah, those numbers that you said just blew me away. Blew me away, but it does put it into perspective, about the numbers and the like. So we have the who, the what, the when, the where, the how. Well, the how is pretty straightforward. You can make your channel as fancy as you want or as simple as you want, and I personally have found it's not made a difference for me with views. Uh, like sometimes, like, you can work forever on a cute little thumbnail, and it'll get less views than a dumb thumbnail that just says, "This book is good." You know what I mean? I haven't found that's made much difference. I don't know
I
if you have.
I have okay, so I spent a lot of time the first couple of years doing thumbnails, looking at composition, looking how it's done. I have a really cool wrench named Chris Persia
Mm,
who usually posts a thumbnail he has made before my show starts in the morning. Most of the time, I copy and paste that from him because he does absolutely exceptional work. It doesn't take him too long, and it keeps me from having to sit there and be tedious because I'm tedious about the thumbnails. I'll sit there
mhm.
for 2 hours and mess with one.
Oh my.
So if I just throw up a generic thumbnail and Chris makes one in the morning, which he does almost every morning, and he knows I appreciate this. I thank him all the time. I'm very appreciative of this. He doesn't have to. He never does. I can get by without it, but I love what he does and that it's so simple for him. It's a lot simpler for him than it is for me because I'm a perfectionist when it comes to stuff like that, and I will sit there for hours messing with one.
Yeah. Well, you heard it there first. And I'm not a visual artist too much, so that's also why I suck. Who knows? I might eat my
Oh,
words.
I want to tell you, as far as thumbnail creation goes, I am a rank amateur compared to some of the wonderful creations people have out there. And I'm too tedious. I don't make great thumbnails. I just overcomplicate everything because that's just how I do it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with videos. I overcomplicate that too. It's why I don't do uploads. I do live streams
Yeah.
because it's there. There's nothing you can stop it from doing now. It's out there. You just talk and you're done, and people heard you, and you can't go back and be like, I don't like this part. I'm going to edit this.
Hmm.
I will spend all day on a 5-minute video. I hate it. I'll spend all day on it because I'm like, I don't like how I sounded when I said this word. I'll go in and I'll erase it. And I'll say that word over again, and I'll
Hmm.
still hate it, and I'll hate it, and I'll hate it until finally I've gone over it a million times. I'm like, oh, well, that sounds better. And it probably doesn't even sound better.
Oh no, I know what you mean because I take forever editing videos too. Yeah, but and I might be talking out of my rear end and don't know what I'm talking about, but you can have the best thumbnail on the planet Earth, but if you're not interesting, I don't think it matters.
No, I don't think it does either.
Yeah, because I'll click on it and it's like, well, you're boring. It won't matter. I won't go, well, but I'm going to keep watching because of that amazing thumbnail.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I might get a click, but it doesn't get a subscription. It doesn't get a sub.
No. Yeah, I found, from looking at my analytics and stuff, that my subs and things tend to come from people searching the topic. So people find things because there's a topic I'm covering, rather than anything fancy.
Well, imagine this. Imagine you're a content creator and you put out a video, and there's a very specific formula you used for your thumbnail. You followed someone's advice that you pay $100 a week to learn YouTube stuff, and you get 100,000 clicks on this, and you're like, man, now I need to make every thumbnail like that, and you get less and less returns every time you do that. But now everything looks uniform, and you don't want to break from that way of thinking. So you continue to make the thumbnails exactly like you did, while being upset that it's not getting you the attention that the first one did, even though it's not the thumbnails at all. It's the content you put out and the subject you were talking about. But you still go over and over. And I know a couple of people that do this, still go over and make the exact same thumbnail the exact same way with the exact same lettering and the exact same font. And it's madness. It's YouTube madness.
Yeah. And it drives people madness. Many people call it YouTube sickness.
Yeah. Yes, me and Mexican Iron Man included. YouTube sickness. That's right.
Yeah, it's a conundrum. Some have searched for it. Yeah. Okay, and then I guess I also like to say, and why is it important? How do you know that I've ever written essay questions for students? Is it important? Like YouTube life, like what? Like I think we've already kind of touched on it, but at the end of the day, why is it important? If it's something you haven't already brought up, what you Stone Loki do? Who the hell cares?
You mean besides me? I like bringing people a fun morning. When I started thinking about doing this, there was a real cool show on when I was a truck driver in Dallas. It's called Russ Martin. I listen to Russ every morning. As soon as I started up my truck, radio was set. 7:30 a.m. I'm off. Right after that, Russ Martin would start, and I'd have a great morning driving around and listening to that. And I wanted to make a morning show that people could listen to on their way to work and have a good time. And that's what it is, and that's what it always is going to be. I don't care about the clicks. I don't care about the money. I don't care about clout. I could care less what someone else thinks about whether he's right or not, or whether he's saying this for that. I just want people to have a good time, and I want to have a good time. And it's very therapeutic, both ends. I think.
Yeah.
That I'm getting all of that out, and I'm having a good time, and people are listening and having a good time.
Yeah,
and if we can give that Monday through Friday, I think that's great. Mission accomplished.
Yeah. So why is it important? It's important because of what people get out of it, what you get out of it. Like Biggle says, how he gets something out of it, and that's important because we're also humans, and we need that. We need those things to keep us going.
Yeah.
Entertaining in the connection. Yeah. I just like hanging with good people, says Jacob. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I think we've covered all of these. Wow. I mean, great stuff. I'd like, well, I think you've said this. I think you've said that. But I always like to give the guests a chance before we go into Rule 7. If there is anything else you want to get off your chest about all of this before we do, speak now or forever destroy your happiness.
just to say thank you for having me on tonight.
Oh.
Thank you so much. This has been great.
Well, thank you. I've really enjoyed it too. I remember you had me on your Wednesday. I think it was the Wednesday show once, and that was
Women
like
of the fandom.
yes, the fam. Oh yeah, women of fandom. Oh gosh. Oh. How things have changed.
Yes. Now we've got YouTube talk on Wednesday.
Yeah, no, that's quite all right. All right. Well, now we are going to roll seven. As always, I encourage people in the chat to also participate. There, we're going to roll a d20 7 times. I don't know why I can't. Oh wait, yeah, no, we're not talking about the hateful eight. Here we go. Roll seven, and these are some questions that's been compiled and tested by Stieg, my mother, and my father to yeah, he's like, roll the dice. Shut up, woman. Roll the dice. Yeah, everyone loves this. And they they're open ended, and they can be as racy or crazy as you want, or they can be as gentle as you want. It is up to you. Jiraiya is giving you a compliment. He says Loki is
Thank
super
you.
chill. Yes, he
Thank you,
is.
Jiraiya.
Oh no. Yeah, here it
Roll the
comes.
dice. Yeah, yeah, whatever. I mean, just let them fly. If it's tame, it's tame. If it's wild, it's wild. By all means.
Yeah. She wouldn't let me answer. What the hell? You're lying. Wait, have you been a guest? Yes, you have been in Quest. Oh, I wouldn't let you answer all the questions. Well, no, because that's not the point. What is the most annoying habit that other people have?
Picking their boogers,
Ew.
right? I mean, you see that, like you'll like pull up next to somebody in a car, and you look over, and they're like, they're digging for gold. Then you're like, ah, yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, that is one of the most disgusting things. Oh yes, Biggles. Not talking about me enough. Yeah, me. Speaking of narcissists,
Mhm.
now we love Biggles. Yeah, actually, that's well. I'm like, if you've got to, why don't you just do it in the bathroom where no one can watch? Yeah. Oh, that's so gross. Um, Meteor Advocate mode when people tell me to hurry up, and oh, sorry. Okay, yeah. Alrighty. Well, let's go to. I'm about ready to throw up here. I'm like, oh, it's so
Sorry.
gross. No, but you're right. You're absolutely right. It's so disgusting. Oh, well, you would be the first person. It's like you can say, I made Miss Martin vomit on her show.
No, I hope not.
No.
Be like, you mean Loki.
Yeah. Dryas says, oh, yeah, people that won't apologize even after being proven wrong. Yeah. Yeah. Pride. Oh, shut up. I'm not even reading that, Biggles. I don't care if you have a wrench. I don't care if you were in my first super chat. Okay. This is a tame one, but it can be controversial. What is your favorite movie and why?
Oh wow. Uh, can it be like a whole set, or does it have to be just one movie?
In general, one movie, but I think in certain contexts, I will allow. Okay, I will. In
Lord
my
of the Rings trilogy.
oh yeah,
So if that's allowed, just the trilogy, and yeah,
and the question is why.
I love Tolkien. I grew up reading Tolkien. I thought the movies were absolutely excellent. Um, and those are some of the best movies. They really are. So
Yeah. Did you watch them on the first showing, like at midnight?
not Fellowship. Fellowship. I had to convince my dad to go see it. So
Oh,
I went and saw it. I originally got told it wasn't any good.
oh,
And then I got told by a friend it was absolutely amazing. So I went and saw it. And then I dragged my dad to go see it. The other movies, yes, I was there opening
yeah. Okay. Oh, this don't get Loki starting Hobbit sudden ending. Oh,
night. Oh no,
oh,
what have we done?
oh gosh. Well,
Mm-mm.
that movie suffered from that. They should call it what do they call it? The Hobbit and the Studio Interference. That's what that
Yes.
trilogy was all about. $5,000 on Lord of the Rings meeting cards. I'm hopefully the good ones. All right, Magic the Gathering. Did I say meeting? Oh my gosh, shoot me now. Yeah, no, I love those, and that was back in when the Academy Awards meant something because they actually recognized true art.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Return of the King swept that award show.
Hmm. Yeah. And in a way, I felt like they were giving it to the whole trilogy, music, everything you said.
Yes.
Let's see. Oh, gosh, this has happened again. Buy a lottery ticket because with the number 4, because you've gotten it more than once. What's your favorite BS excuse when you're late?
My dog ate my homework. It's not
All
really
right.
a late one though, but that is my favorite BS excuse. My mom was sick. I didn't have any clean drawers. My fish died. My girlfriend had a baby. You could go on and on and on. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, now that you mentioned the whole dog ate my homework, I actually had a student and it was like a goody two shoes and she was crying. It was like the homework. And she's like, the dog really did eat the homework. And it was like torn in two and you saw the teeth marks. And I was like, you can turn it in. It's okay.
Hmm.
And I'm like that. Oh boy. Yeah. Saying I use loaded dice. Screw that. I do not. Yeah. It's my first. Oh, there's one. It's my first day. All right. All right. Rule number 3. 15. Oh, where do you feel most out of place?
Oh wow. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I can't say that I've really felt that out of place anywhere.
Oh, okay. Some previous answers have been like nightclubs or a frat house because I always hated
Maybe
frat people.
maybe like a super ritzy event. I probably would be like, this is yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like tea with the queen.
Yeah, no, that's not me. Definitely not.
One lump or two. Yes. Well, Biggles, he ate his own homework. Okay, you savage. Most out of place work. I belong to be free. My answer. Yeah. I forget what it was there. Meteor advocate. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I can't imagine you in a smoking jacket in a
Mm-mm. Nope.
British tea room. So maybe one day. Actually, afternoon tea is very nice. But maybe that's the man and woman differences back when we could talk about men and women differences. Oh, what's the most immature thing you do?
That is a definitely a question that's up for debate. Some people would say YouTube. Some people would say still playing video games in my 40s. I love playing video games. I love
Mhm.
playing board games. I still read comics. I enjoy TV and TV series and movies and pop culture in general. I collect vinyl records for God's sakes.
Hmm. Well, hell, there's nothing wrong with collecting vinyl records. I love
Uh-uh.
those. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's true. Everything. Yeah. Yeah, I actually get annoyed when some snooty know-it-alls and sit around and talk about how immature it is at, reading comic books and video games. Like, oh, shut up. It's like, no, it's not. You person of no fun. Um, wow, you've gotten 2 numbers. So put 11 and 4 on your lottery numbers if you play the lottery. Oh,
All right.
if you could travel back in time, when would you go to and why?
Oh, that's a good one. Uh, um, That is a good question.
Yeah. If you could go and know that you wouldn't die of like a fever because there's no antibiotics. So you have all the antibiotics you need.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was just thinking about like what would be the most important thing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so when I was a kid, my dad took me over to this A6 that he was flying when he was in the Navy, and like sat me down in the plane with him and went over everything. I was like 3 or 4 years old. I was a cute little kid sitting in
Oh.
the airplane with his dad. Um, Something like that, probably, just to see that again. Probably something like that. I know I'm like a softie. My dad passed away in 2020 in February, right before COVID happened. Um, so probably something like that. Get to see him when he was, my age. Get to see him when he was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that
Well,
would be would be really important to me. I mean, you could do anything. You could go back to, you could go back and see the dinosaurs. You could go back. I don't know. I'd want something like that. That'd be a great opportunity. I wouldn't want to change anything or affect anything. Just make me invisible. I can't affect anything. I can't mess with anything. I just get to see. I do that.
well, yeah. No, I know what you mean. Yeah. Wow, that's pretty moving. Biggles, of course, it's baseball. When the Mets won the World Series in '86, meteor advocate Timon, London, 19th century, have a bat to face discussion with Karl Marx. Yeah, a lot of people wanted to have a few words with Karl Marx. I like that one. Aloud. Jorai says, like to travel to a million BC to see how drastically different the world was. Yeah, before the meteor hit. Uh, my 7th year of life. 86 was good. Yeah, 86. The 80s were good. Okay. Well, last but not least is yeah, Biggle said that getting rid of the invention. Yeah, he used that to an invention. He would have get rid of communism. Communism sucks. But it's actually the people that actually keep buying it that suck even more. All right.
Oh yeah.
Besides someone you love, what's the one thing you can't live without?
Oh wow. Hmm. Pizza.
Oh yeah.
Such a simple answer, right? Pizza.
Yeah, I would say coffee, but yeah, but pizza. Yeah, that's the one thing I do indulge in. Yeah, like Sunday, I tell myself, okay, Sunday's the day. It's always like a mini little festival, so I'll do that. Do you like pineapple on your pizza?
No.
Oh, I love it.
No, I'm a meat lover.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Can't live without pizza. Oh gosh, I love the really thick crust.
I
Uh,
do too, but I can't have it anymore. So there's this place just down the road, about 30 minutes down the road called Grimaldi's. They cook it in a coal oven.
oh, I know
It's
Grimaldi's.
so good, but it's like paper thin. I can't do the thick crust anymore because I'm diabetic. So it's like that's a
Eh,
big no.
oh, that's too bad. Well,
Yeah, but they've got really good paper thin crust pizza. So
I'm just curious because I'm not diabetic. Can like that cauliflower crust does that okay to eat or?
yeah, but God, why would you want to? I'll do it every once in a while. I will, but if I can get that paper thin, a
Yeah.
paper thin crust, I'll go with that before oh no, not the cauliflower.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
sorry. Actually, I like the cauliflower crust, and I don't even need to eat it. I love it.
Oh.
So I guess I'll be okay. Okay. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. Um, um male and female differences. Or who knows? Bacon. Yeah. Oh, I know a lot of people can't live without bacon. Pineapple on pizza is blasphemous. Oh my gosh, you guys are all terrible. They're the same people that hated dolphins when Arwen was on because she wanted to swim with the dolphins. And
Yeah. Her and dolphins.
yeah, Marcos is good. I eat the crust first; it makes it taste better. New Haven. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you still get to enjoy it.
Yeah, so do I. Because I don't know. I don't want to live in a world where I can't eat pizza. Ugh.
No. Oh dear. I don't want to live in a. Well, I'm getting to the point where I don't want to live in this world, period. But my sister came up with a term that she says we can all move, and we're going to call it F off land. And it'll be our own little compound where it's like everyone has to leave us alone because everything's so crazy right now. Oh yeah, I guess a lot of people know about Grimaldi's Cold Fire Heaven.
Yes, Cold Fire Heaven. Yes, it is.
Yeah, they're saying dolphins are the ocean psychopaths. No, I'm living with psychopaths. I have 2 cats, so screw them.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty, well, that is the end of that. Well, anything you want to plug before we leave?
I do a morning show, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday. It's Loki's Mornings of Mischief. By all means, guys, come by, check it out. Love to get your thoughts in the morning, and thank you very much for having me on tonight. Yeah. Oh, look, and there he is. He's late too. Oops.
Late. How dare you? Well, thank you for coming. And so, everyone, if you have not already, I know that the link has been in and out here. There we go. Please sub to him and watch his morning shows or watch him on the replay. There are loads of fun, and I just really enjoy it. It's very good, entertaining. And again, thank you for accepting the invitation.
Thank you.
All right. And stay tuned here on Miss Martin Muses, where we talk about what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. We're going to be having We the People Wednesday tomorrow. We're going to do Article 2 of the Constitution. We got some Catholic explaining Mary Ark of the Covenant on Sunday. And maybe a review of the new comic of Conan number 2 from Titan Comics. That's been really, really good. Thank you, Vermont Cheddar. It says he has subbed to you. So there we go.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you might be seeing me around on Untamed Mandos with the Silver Chair. We're going to be reviewing C.S. Lewis. So have a great day, everyone. Have a great day, and be certain to balance out your YouTube life.